serious?
Yeah. It was, in order to get both, I lowered it down. I thought audio would automatically go.
Are you sure that that was the case?
Yes.
Okay. I've just been informed we were muted that entire time. I was really proud of that, but at least we can reuse the material. That's all good.
We get ready for our women's volleyball match between our Southern Virginia University Knights and the visiting Wildcats of Randolph College, hailing from Lynchburg, Virginia. As an announcement, spectators at Southern Virginia University athletic events are expected to support participants and officials without the use of offensive language, racist or sexual comments, threats, or other intimidating actions. Spectators may not direct any verbal abuse toward opponents, coaches, or officials. Consumption of alcohol or drugs is prohibited and is cause for expulsion from any event. Those persons violating these guidelines will be asked to leave the premises.
Libero.
Thank you for supporting Southern Virginia.
And then that's their starting lineup.
As another announcement, please be aware that the entire wood floor is playable surface. We request that fans not sit on the front row of the bleachers as to avoid potential injury.
Where do I put my markers?
Either to yourself or a scholar athlete. As a custom here at Southern Virginia University, before any athletic event, we will begin with a word of prayer, which will be offered by Natalie Workman, a freshman from Queen Creek, Arizona.
Our dear kind gracious Heavenly Father, we're so grateful that we could be here today, and please bless us that we'll be able to play with good attitudes and have fun in the sport that we love and play with sportsmanship and allow no harm or accident to come upon us. And we say these things humbly in Jesus Christ, amen.
Now let's please rise and face the anthem, which will be sung by our own Helen.
And with that, we are live, ladies and gentlemen, here. The Southern Virginia Knights getting ready to host the Randolph Wildcats here in the second home game of the season for our volleyball team. Starters being announced right now for both teams. First, I'm here, Art Furler, with Mike Harmon. I'll give you the Randolph starters and toss it over to Mike for Southern Virginia's. First, for the Wildcats at libero, we have number 3, Lexi Harrington. And the starting lineup is number 6, Catherine Lesnack. Number 8, Marissa McClinton. Number 9, Carrie McMichael. Number 10, Noelle Wojciechowski. Number 17, Alex Mariana. And number 22, Jordan Templin. Mike, who do we have for Southern Virginia?
Starting for the Knights tonight will be number 5, Shannon Ramito. Number 11, Hannah Phillips. Number 12, Kaylin Berry. Number 13, Vanessa Pollock. Number 15, Caitlin Eaton. Number 18, Valerie Arkansas. And the libero will be number 3, April Bennett.
Outstanding. Looking forward to a great contest tonight. Should be pretty evenly matched. These teams have played one common opponent and fared pretty well evenly between them. Isn't that right?
Yeah, they both played Methodist this last weekend at a tournament down in Roanoke, and both of them beat Methodist 3-1. Both of them went undefeated in the tournament. It was more of a classic than a true tournament. So Randolph comes in at 9-4. Southern Virginia comes in at 9-5. So they're pretty well evenly matched. We're looking for a great tournament. great match tonight.
Outstanding. Good to see some folks out here at the game as well. The first game that we're broadcasting here of the volleyball season. We expect to do a fair number of games for the rest of the season as well, so you folks at home keep an eye out for that. Speaking of things to keep an eye out for, some particular players to keep an eye on tonight.
Well, for Southern Virginia, the big horse that they have is number 15, Caitlin Eaton. As she goes, so do the Knights go. She gets everybody excited. She can jump out of the gym. She can hammer the ball and put it straight down. Her approaches are great because she's got great movement laterally along the net. She's just one of the ones that when she gets going, that makes everybody else better.
Outstanding. And another one to look out for, we were just talking before we started on the broadcast about Hannah Phillips, picked up tournament MVP at that last tournament they were at last weekend. So certainly some potential there, peaking at a good time coming into this game. And you had mentioned before the broadcast as well, one of the players for Randolph recently getting ODAC Player of the Week.
Yeah, Alex Mariana was the ODAC Player of the Week. It's the first time in Randolph's history that they've had a Player of the Week in volleyball. And she against Methodist hit over 600. So she had a great match. Absolutely.
Well, we'll see which team can have those key players do more work for them as we get ready for the beginning of this game here. Once again, Southern Virginia hosting the Randolph Wildcats, and here we go. That's a good way to start.
That's a great way to start. Valerie Arkansas back there puts it in the seam, making two people go for it. Neither one of them called each other off. Great way to start.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of nerves here. It's a very small venue, tough to get ready to play in for opponents.
Yeah, when you go down to Randolph, their gym is huge, and it's also dug out, so the fans are about 15 feet above the playing surface.
Interesting.
Again, another ace for Valerie.
Yeah, great start here for Southern Virginia. Third one queued up. Into the back row. Tipped out front. Good dig by Southern Virginia.
Just had to play it over there, but see if they get in system. Vanessa with a nice block there. Long rally going on here. And usually long rallies mean bad things from one team.
Yeah, ultimately favoring Randolph on that one. They'll get the point 2-1. Good to see the Knights, though, very cohesive early on. That was something they struggled with early in the season last year with making sure everyone knew where everyone else is at. But so far,
they've been working hard and diligent on that. There's Caitlin. That's why she is the one to watch.
Absolutely. Putting it down with authority. Caitlin Eaton getting the serve back to Southern Virginia. And that's Vanessa Pollock to serve.
Nice serve.
A little bit of a push shot back over to the Knights.
Oh, nice down the line.
Good rotation by the Knights.
Just missed on that connection.
Knights with another opportunity. And there it is.
Nice job.
A lot of emotion, looks like, on the side of Southern Virginia.
And you think that's just something spontaneous. They practice that. They really do. They practice that after every point, everything they do in practice. They have to cheer like that.
Well, good. Lots of energy. Little confusion that time. It looked like it was Carrie McMichael and Jordan Templin. Not sure whose that one was. So far, a 5-0 start, and the Knights on the attack. Once again, service over to the Wildcats. And a friendly roll by the net that time.
There's not a lot you can do about that when it rolls down the net, but they were in position if it would have came off a little bit higher.
Absolutely. Now 5-2. Service by the Wildcats. Low over the net. Good setup for the Knights. And just shy.
And this is something new. Usually Caitlin's in to start the game. They run a 6-2 most times. And usually Caitlin Telesic is in to run that connection with Caitlin Eaton there. And now, now we're going to see what the Knights are really made of. When things start to go apart, let's see if they can settle back down and come back into this game.
Absolutely. Service again coming in from the Wildcats, and low. That certainly helps. Other team goes on a run. It's nice if they hurt themselves so you don't have to.
That's right. When the net jumps up and takes care of some things, that's always good.
Absolutely. Service now from Caitlin Eaton.
Oh, free ball here. Let's see what they can run.
Quite the dig out. Randolph looking a little shaky.
Just long.
Yeah, great job that time getting out of the way of that one. Vanessa Pollock looking like she wanted to go for it, very wisely seeing the line, deciding to play back and getting the point. Once again, over, and
anytime you force your libero to have to hit the ball over, you've done a great job.
Oh, and nice tip. Recovered well, though, by the Wildcats coming back.
Good touch.
Played off of the net, fielded by the libero, coming up off the top of the net again. Over to Southern Virginia, very long rally this time, and continues to go on. And still recovered by the Knights. What a play. Coming back again, and that time it gets put down by Jordan Templin. Wow, was that a long rally.
And now you got to see where stamina comes in this game.
Sure. Well, and that one, the first few volleys were the Knights going on attack, but you could see Randolph each possession getting a little more aggressive and a little more controlled. 7-5 now. Knights looking to react, and a tip shot right over the net. Beautiful play that time. Sometimes power wins, sometimes it's finesse.
Yeah, she just barely missed that.
Yeah, just a hair out of bounds. 7-6 now. Service again coming in from Randolph. Play to the outside, long to the far corner, and
out.
Just barely over again. Randolph tying it up at 7 apiece. Be great if they help the Knights out with a serve into the net again, like they did the last time they made a run. We'll see if they'll be so lucky. Not on this one.
Good pass.
Shot to the back line, dug out. Oh.
And the Knights are just a little bit out of system now. You can see that the passes aren't getting to the front court where the setter, Valley Arkansas, can make a good set. The hitters are a little bit off. They're going to have to do something to shake themselves and get back into this game.
Yeah, Pollock with a good save, but not a very easily played ball. Service coming over again, fielded by the libero. That time Rito. And as in years past, when the Knights need a little bit of action and getting a rotation here that time, but as I said, in years past, Shannon Rito coming up and saying, you know, I think it's time we put a little stop to this run here, and puts it down.
And the Knights are running a 6-2, so now Caitlin Talusic comes in along with, oh my goodness, Melissa Owens. So we'll have a big right side. Caitlin will be back setting, always keeps hitters in the front row.
Caitlin Talusic with some long runs last year at the service. See if they can hang on to it this year. Taken well, but again, the libero over the net gives a good opportunity to the Wildcats. Good save that time, coming back up. And Rito, I gotta say, Rito known for her power, not necessarily known for her finesse, but that time the smart play, touches it over. Very wise decision and gives the Knights the advantage, 9-8. And keeps Caitlin Talusic on the line. Over again. Short.
That
set.
was a great pass by April Bennett. Started that whole thing with a great pass. Caitlin didn't even have to move to make her sit.
Yep, and Hannah Phillips ready to receive that and strike. 10-8 now. The Knights back in control. Service from Talusic. And just low into the net. The net giveth and the net taketh away.
That's true, and that's one thing that coaches just agonize over. The net doesn't move. And she served 2 great points to begin with, but that's just something that all volleyball players have problems with.
Absolutely. Coming back over this time. Looked like it was going over on 2. Perhaps a miscue that time, and Randolph plays it over. They will get the point, now tied at 10 apiece. Service to Jordan Templin.
And this is what we talked about earlier, 2 evenly matched teams going head-to-head.
Yeah, just blow for blow here so far. Hard hit, defended well by the Wildcats. Back up to the net. touch shot over. The Knights feeling it. Oh, and a great shot that time, finding the open hole. That was beautifully played on the cross court.
Hannah has a great cross court shot. She can cut it really, really sharp.
Yeah, and over the head made the player think it was going out of bounds, but it fell right in. Oh, great sinker right over the net. Fielded, though, by the Wildcats, coming back over. The Knights now with an opportunity on a free ball. Oh, little bit of heat on that one from Callan Berry, I believe.
No, that's Vanessa.
Oh, excuse me, Vanessa Pollock. There was some, man, that ball was going down real quick. I don't know if that was inability to get to it or refusal to by the Wildcats. Oh, no. Oh. Rito down on that one immediately.
Rolled over someone's foot.
Clearly in pain.
Turn it down. Turn it down.
It looked like what happened that time, the ball coming over the net here and Rito going up for it along with Melissa Owen. It looked beautiful above the net that time. It looked like Rito got the block and it went to the side over there to Owen, and she tipped it right down there, but clearly both coming down at the same time. I guess I'm surprised I don't see that more often with so many people jumping up at the same time in close proximity like that, but it looks like the right ankle of Rito.
With the way the rules are now, you can actually step across the line. Used to be in years past that you had to stay away from that, and with the way that the hitters are coming in, their feet are going more and more and more underneath the net. It's just one of those unfortunate things that you hate to see it, but it's very common in volleyball now. Good to see Rito getting up.
Absolutely.
I don't know if we'll see her back in this set. Hopefully we'll see her back in the match, but the way she's going off the floor now, it looks like she may be done for the evening.
Yeah, she immediately upon landing, you could see the pain in her face. She went right to the ground, and a pretty tough young woman. I wouldn't expect that to be anything simple that would take her down, especially after the couple of big points that she's had for Southern Virginia so far tonight. So
now Tabitha Green comes in to replace her. Tabitha usually plays an outside hitter right side, and so now she's having to play the middle. And Coach Lee will make some adjustments next set, but this is how we're going to have to go to start this one. So we'll have a replay on that last point.
Yeah, so we'll see how we go now. Service coming up from Hannah Phillips. Played well by the Wildcats over the net. Dug out. Play up in the net this time over across, and a hard shot down. Played very well. Vanessa Pollock with just the hammer over on that side, giving the Wildcats fits.
Vanessa's quite the athlete. When we get to a break, I'll tell you a little story about Vanessa.
Outstanding.
And what she has to offer.
Looking forward to that. Service again over to Randolph. The hard spike down, and unfortunately the Knights unable to keep that on the Randolph side of the net. Point and service over to Randolph.
Yeah, they just couldn't penetrate the net far enough to make sure the ball stayed on Randolph's side.
Serve coming into Southern Virginia. Once again, enough power on it to get deflected and still to go well out of bounds. Once again, Vanessa Pollock, and just a freshman coming in and making her impact felt very strongly.
Yes, and again, that all started with a great pass, that time from Hannah Phillips. Caitlin Talusic didn't have to move at all. When you're in system, you can just about do anything you want.
Service from Bennett this time. She ends up taking it. Over on two that time by Owen. Oh, and a good block, but not able to keep it on the other side of the net. Subs rolling in. Alex Mariana back in for Randolph. Once again, the ODAC player of the week last week. And had a good long stretch at service for Randolph tonight as well.
Yes, she did. Need to keep her off the service line as much as possible.
Good hard shot that time. It turns out that's not Pollock. She's got a friend, Caitlin Eaton, saying, you know, I'll take some of that myself. Not to be outdone.
And that's the work that Caitlin Talusik and Caitlin Eaton put in last year. You can tell now when Valerie comes in, Valerie's a great setter. She's going to be really good for the program, but there's just not that connection yet that's been developed between her and Eaton.
Absolutely, that teamwork so essential. Oh, good shot that time. Marissa McClinton putting that one down hard.
Very quick. That was a 3-set, just right across, almost like a very quick one, but just comes across the net, doesn't let the blockers get into play.
Catherine Lesnack now with the serve for Randolph. Short set, and it's going to be point over Southern Virginia. Is that a double hit?
Yeah. It came off of Mariana's hands, left, right. You can't do that. It's got to be clean, so give another point to Eaton.
There you go. Short one again, and that looked very similar to the point just a moment ago by Marissa McClinton, far down to the right side as opposed to from the middle, but it looks like she really likes those short sets.
Yeah, they're running a lot of quick sets right there with the setter, making our middles choose which way they're going to go, and if you choose wrong, it's a wide open court.
That's one thing that Coach Lee was talking about in pregame, a very fast offense, a very quick to strike offense, something that she noted and was concerned about.
Now again, here we are back to a 1-point game, and let's see if the Knights can right the ship and get back into system.
16-15, very close to the net that time, and looks like it may have been Valerie Arkansas caught up in the net. Oh, no, the double touch.
Yeah. And if they didn't get her for that, they would have got her for a back row attack. So now the passing's just taken Valerie too close to the net.
16 apiece. Southern Virginia's led a good part of this contest at the chance here to not have that last. That one goes long. Point over to the Wildcats, now taking the lead for the first time, I think, in about 10 points.
Yes.
17-16.
Nice. I would guess if they get 1 or 2 more points, Coach Lee will take a timeout, try to settle things down.
Absolutely. Especially as you've got some young players out there, I think it's important to give them an opportunity to try to work through it themselves. Can't always bail them out, but you also want to help while there's still time to receive that.
Oh, this should be good. Let's see if they go to Eaton here.
Oh.
You may be able to get her ball up, but it's not going to go where you want it to go.
Well, good job by Southern Virginia there not to go on tilt. And here we go. Service coming in from Eaton. Another one of those short serves.
It looks like Tabitha Green got in the net trying to block right there. And again, she's playing out of position. You know, she's got to be nervous and scared to death playing out of position. Usually she's on the outside, so there's some issues there that she needs to try to work through.
Whoa. I think she worked through it that time.
Yeah, Hannah put that one down nice and hard. When you aim at someone's head, it's really hard to get the ball up.
It's a question of your commitment level. What are you willing to do to block this? Because if you're willing to take it in the face, then, you know, there's not a whole lot a blocker can do, but a hitter can do, but you're not going to do that too many times in a match. It's loose stick this time. Over the net. The high set this time. Tipped and taken by Southern Virginia. Over from the back row. Fielded by the libero for Randolph. Outside, hard hit, but fielded well. Taken again by Bennett. Over at the net. Another long volley, and that short serve taken well. Oh, over on 2. Libero for Wildcats fields it, though, and gets the point. 18-20 now. Randolph with the lead.
And now Caitlin's going to have to make some really smart decisions on who she's going to go to. A lot of inexperience on the front row. She's going to have to find that one person that she just feels the best with.
And right now it looks like Owen, and Owen puts it down relatively uncontested.
Well, when you're 6'2", and you can jump, there's not a lot that the opponents can do to you.
I expected this little smile on her face. She jumped up because there was nobody there to block her. It was just, where do I want to go with this one? Long serve in that time. The Wildcats with the touch over. Owen fielding it over to Tlustik and put down once again. Oh, Vanessa Pollock is just having a grand old time tonight.
When you can take a run up like she has and get great swings and have as strong as arm as she does, you're going to have a fun time playing volleyball.
Hannah Phillips in for service, gets it over the net, back over to Southern Virginia. Tlustik to the outside. Finesse this time by Pollock. Back over to Southern Virginia again. Over by Bennett. Another long volley, that short touch. Oh, Bennett unable to clean that one up. And it's now 21-20.
You know, and Bennett knew right where she was going, where the ball was going to go. I don't know if she really wanted to go for that one. It looked like it might have been going out of bounds.
Sure. 21-20. Again, we played at 25, win by 2. Free ball over to Southern Virginia. Up to the outside and put down that time by Tabitha Green. Everybody getting in on the action tonight for Southern Virginia.
And now Tabitha had moved with Melissa Owens. They kind of switched. Melissa's playing the middle. Tabitha's on the right side. A little bit more comfortable, and now we can see what the freshman can do.
April Bennett just wide on the serve, and that's going to go over to Randolph, 22-21.
Now this is why you play all those points. You get to these last 3 or 4 points, you're going to find out what your team's made of.
Score's essentially 2-1 right now, right?
Yes.
Tip over. Opportunity here and put right back, but the block goes out of bounds. Wildcats with the point, 23-21. And Coach Lee wants to talk it over a little bit, take the opportunity here. Coach, I did this to you a lot last season. I'll do it to you again. If you're in the huddle for Southern Virginia, what do you do? What do you say to your players?
We're talking about being calm, making sure that on the serve we get a good pass. So we're talking about moving our feet, making sure our platforms are stable, getting it to where Caitlin Tlustik can make a great set. And who do you think you want to go to? You got Caitlin Eaton on the front row. I would give it to her any place on there, as long as it's a good pass and Caitlin Tlustik doesn't have to move her feet. Eaton will put it down, stop this little run, and then you can start your own run.
Yeah, right now with the 23-21 lead, the Knights have the opportunity to close it at 25 points now, but not if they get one more point from Randolph. Then their only hope is to prolong the game, extending it past the 25, and from there, who knows how long it could go.
That's true.
We could have a long night, Mike.
We could have a long night. I'd like to win in 3, though.
Yeah, I'm sure the Knights team and especially Coach Lee agree with you. Service coming in from Carrie McMichael.
That's not the pass you wanted to start with.
No, it's not. Opportunity now for the Wildcats. And down hard that time. And 24-21 with the opportunity to close now. And timeout taken.
That's just, and then it's a good timeout. You can't take them with you to the next set, so you might as well freeze the server a little bit and talk to your kids again and say, okay, you know, the first thing we have to do is pass. Make the first pass, and then we can run things out from there. But if they don't make the pass and you get out of system, Randolph has shown that they can take care of your mistakes and make them their opportunities.
Yeah, so far everything we expected it to be a close game. Not sure how this is going to buff out, 24-21 at this point. So far, both teams pretty equally matched. Both have gone on runs. Both have seemed a little like they have the ability to control this game, but both also with some cracks in the system. We'll see how it finishes out here, 24-21. The Knights looking to prolong this set if possible. Well, it looks like the Knights got what they wanted on the first pass. They got a good set and a good spike out there by Vanessa Pollock, but blocked by Randolph and just not able to prolong that one. But hey, 25-21 in the first set. Pretty good.
Not too bad. You always want to win that first set because the next one becomes a whole lot easier. But the Knights are at home. That makes it a whole lot easier to keep the energy level up and to play with what is here in the arena. It is hot. You know, the other team comes from a air-conditioned gym, and the longer these sets go and the match goes, the more it's going to be in the favor of the Knights. So,
well, certainly as well as you look around the arena filling up tonight, a good crowd out to support Southern Virginia. They've been known to play a part in these matches, both in volleyball as well as in men's and women's basketball here. Yeah,
so the Lady Knights are going to have to do something to ignite the crowd themselves. It has to have a great hit. We're looking for Pollock or Eaton to put one down hard, get the crowd back into the game.
Well, we can certainly hope. One set down, one more coming back. Once again, the opportunity for the coaches to talk to their players a little bit. I'll put you on the spot one more time. Do you step in and talk about major things to change, or is it just kind of stay the course? And how much would you be coaching and how much would you let them do their thing at this point?
Well, the only major coaching thing you do right now is say, all right, we got to make an adjustment on our rotations because Shannon Ramito's out. Other than that, you tell them to rely on everything that they've been doing day after day after day in their practices. Hopefully they've practiced things enough and they're able to get things going to where this is not going to be a major shakeup for them. So right now, Coach Lee is just over. She's talking to individuals now, telling them, you know, you're going to be playing a little bit different rotation. It's okay. Trust our system. Trust each other out on the floor, and let's go and play volleyball the way we know we can.
Absolutely, and that team effort's going to be big at this point, especially considering it looks like, we had Ramito come back out to the court, but was assisted out, had a lot of ice packed on that ankle. She definitely looks like she's going to be done for the night, so having a major key player on your team down like that certainly changes things for everybody else.
Yes, it does. So now, you know, the senior, Caitlin Eaton, she's going to find that out and step it up a little bit. But now we're going to be looking at the two freshman outside hitters, Pollock and Phillips. They're going to have to really step their game up, not just on the front row, but their passing is going to have to be a whole lot better on the back row to make up for what's going on and what's happening. Miss Pollock, Vanessa, is, like I said, quite an athlete. She was a great high school track star, obviously, with the way she can jump. Mm-hmm. Her brother played football here. She came as a senior in high school to visit the school. Oh, she came as a freshman in high school to visit the school when he was coming and looking at it, and those were back in the days of the NAIA that we were in, and we could have open gyms and stuff. And she was playing with some girls that were getting ready to come in and commit to be here. She could have started for us that year. She is
quite the athlete.
She is quite the athlete. Fast, strong, smart, very enthusiastic, as we can see out on the floor. So,
and if that was as a freshman in high school, I can't imagine she's gotten worse over the last.
No, I don't think she's gotten worse. So that's one of the things I sit back and think about not coaching basketball is I'd really like to coach her. I've been thinking about her for 4 years, and and here we go. But she and Hannah Phillips really going to have to up their game, both offensively and defensively, all the way around to make up for this loss.
Well, and we'll see how the Knights are able to do that and adjust as this game starts. April Bennett coming in as the libero early, and service picks up right where it left off, I believe. Carrie McMichael for Randolph.
Yes.
Getting ready to start off. As we look at this second set, the Knights down 1-0 as they host the Randolph Wildcats. And we are underway. Hard outside hitting that time by the Knights. Opportunity, though, for the Wildcats, taken well by Bennett. Played up to the front line. Once again, over by Hannah Phillips. Oh, and the tip shot put back very well but was in the net.
Yeah, Caitlin got a little bit excited, saw the ball right in her hands, and just that little extra forward momentum caught the net.
Just a hair that time. Turns out this is a game of inches too, huh?
Yes, it is.
Most of them are. Oh, and played that time, but once again, just into the net. The Knights not doing themselves many favors so far.
You know, and like you said, it's a game of inches. We got the two freshmen back receiving serves along with April Bennett. They're putting the passes too close to the net, making things a little bit too difficult. They just have to relax for a few seconds.
And another opportunity. Hit over the blockers that time by Phillips. And still taken by the Wildcats. The opportunity to put it over. Well done that time. Very good, strong net game by Southern Virginia. Caitlin Eaton showing the rest of her game that time. Playing well at the net, getting the tip over a couple of times, getting the point down.
And again, with she being a senior, she knows what it's going to take for this team to come back from a 1-0 deficit.
Over on one that time gives the Knights an opportunity. Net game again, and once again, 6'2", helps, doesn't it?
It helps a lot.
Melissa Owen just putting the roof on that one and putting it right down. Now tied at 2 apiece. Flustig with the serve. And I believe they call that an ace, don't they, Coach?
They call that an ace. And again, she found the seam between the libero and back row player. They both looked at each other like they were going to take it.
Yeah.
That's the best place to put it. If you can find seams all the time, your service game is going to be great.
Yeah, Templin and Harrington didn't look happy with each other that time. This one directly to Harrington. Comes up to the net and a push shot. That one caught Owen a little off guard. And the point goes back over, now tied at 3 apiece with service to Randolph.
Now, one thing I'd like to see the Knights do is have an adjustment for their blocking scheme. They block one way and one way only the whole time. And so far, the Wildcats have only been going cross-court instead of down the line, so they need to adjust their block more towards the center, take that cross-court hit away.
Yeah, that was a beautiful cross-court hit. Speaking of, that time, Hannah Phillips looking to play it down the line, getting that roll over the top. Getting away from the power game, mixing things up a little bit. Again, over on one. And Caitlin Eaton saying, that was a beautiful set. I'll take that. I don't care if it's from my line, your line. Heck, the ref can throw it into me and I'll put it down.
Middle hitters love overpasses. They just absolutely adore those overpasses.
5-3 now the lead for Southern Virginia. Looking to come back here in this second set. Beautiful step in by Bennett that time. And played into the net. Boy, Southern Virginia having a difficult time staying out of the net this game.
It's one thing is rolling right into the other. They're not just washing that mistake away, let it go. They're letting it compound and compound and compound.
Tough play this time, but the Knights able to put it together. Comes back at him, though, and that time Phillips unable to get underneath it, and we're at 5 apiece.
Again, their blocking scheme, they got to try to close those blocks a little bit earlier and take more of the cross court away. I think they'd have a lot more success.
Lexi Harrington now with the serve for the Wildcats. Right over to April Bennett. Up back away from the net, but taken very well. Coach, that has to be a much more difficult shot that time. Vanessa Pollock taking it a good 4 or 5 feet behind the net.
Yeah, but she made a great play on it. She didn't try to hit it too hard, just rolled it over, found the open spot, and caught the Wildcats unaware.
Randolph up this time. The hard shot, but blocked by Southern Virginia. Tip shot over, sent over one more time. Once again played lots up at the net, and this time Southern Virginia in the net.
You know, I have Kaylin Berry playing in the middle now. She looks a little bit more comfortable there, and hopefully she'll be able to just ease into this new role that she has.
Serve coming over, taken by Bennett to the outside, and the hard put down again. Vanessa Pollock elevated, just kind of hung in the air and then put it down.
And that's where Vanessa wants the ball, is about 3 foot off the net to where she can lean into it and make sure that she's getting full extension and momentum into the hit.
A lot of communication between the Randolph coaching staff and the referee. Not sure what's going on. They seem to be looking for clarification on something. What could the cause of that be, Coach?
I don't know. They might be upset that the cheerleaders are here. I got no idea. I haven't seen anything.
Beautiful pancake, but apparently the refs are saying did not get underneath it.
The down ref had the call and made it very right when it happened. So he's not going to change his mind. And these two refs are very good. They both have been international refs, so they can go anywhere they want to go in referee games.
Oh, down with authority again. Vanessa Pollock asserting her will over the Randolph Wildcats.
Now you have to love that freshman enthusiasm, but you guys got to make sure that the freshman enthusiasm doesn't go overboard and take you out of your game.
Got to temper it a little bit as well, absolutely. Hit over that time by Phillips. Back over. Another opportunity for the Wildcats, taken by Bennett. Tlustik, over on 2. Fielded well, though, coming back the other way. The Knights recover as well. Over on 2 again, over on 1, and it stays in. That time, Noel Wojciechowski, I believe it was.
And they had the Knights on a string, running them from the left-hand side to the right-hand side and back, and that's just good volleyball.
Set at the net by Tlustik. And up into the pole that time. Southern Virginia with the point. And just hanging around still, 9-8. 2 close games in a row so far.
Yes, Kaylin Berry did a great job. Used the blocker. Blocker went up, hit the ball back into the antenna. Great keel.
Oh, great play that time by Southern Virginia to keep it alive. Coming back the other way. And once again, those very, very short sets setting up Marissa McClinton. That's her bread and butter.
Yes, those shoot sets. You can watch the setter. She actually, instead of putting loft on the ball, shoots it right where the hand is going to be. And if you make the connection, it looks really great. If you miss that connection, you can look very silly.
That one rolling off the top of the fingers of April Bennett. And the Knights now 9-10, trailing a point.
And here we have McMichael back there serving again. They got to break this serve quickly, get out of this rotation.
Yeah, finished out the last game for them, and that'll break it quickly, won't it?
That will. Those are the connections that the Knights need to keep making. And again, it all starts with the fundamental first pass, and they got to concentrate on that the rest of the night.
Yeah, a lot easier to get those second and third hits where you want them if you get a first one where you need it. Taken by Harrington. We're taken well by the Knights, and a good set by Tlustik, and put down, just like you were talking about, Coach. A good first hit out of a difficult read, but takes it, puts it up right by the net, and Tlustik puts it right where Caitlin Eaton needs it.
And that's just a sign of a smart setter. She's grown so much since her freshman year. Just not got to keep on making those smart decisions for the rest of the match, and she can do it. She's just going to have to put away some of her anger sometimes when she serves the ball out like that.
Yeah, a little bit long that time by Tlustik. Coming back the other way, tied at 11. Tlustik with the set. Put down that time. Eaton and the point. Boy, those 50-50 balls at the net don't seem to be going 50-50.
No, they're more aimed towards the other team. So sometimes in this arena, you got to start getting the home cooking.
Absolutely. At the same time, if you make Caitlin Eaton mad, that might not work out well. Oh, coming over. And that one fielded Caitlin Eaton's spike and able to give it right back to her.
And we're starting to see some frustration on the younger players' faces. Again, they haven't been through this full season, and they're just not able to handle the emotions that you need to be able to handle.
Oh, Owen that time able to put it over. Harrington. And that time the point over to Southern Virginia because of a double hit. Boy, the double hits keep coming for Randolph, but not nearly as much as Southern Virginia playing it into the net.
Yeah, well, maybe that's the first one that we're getting back, and we'll get on a roll now.
There you go. Going over, and it is just outside, wide left, and point back over to Randolph. Now 12-14.
And I know you want to serve tough, but you got to serve in. You have to serve in.
Good set by Tlustik. Outside hitting and cross shot. Very nice that time. Caitlin Eaton, not to be deterred by any plays in the net, anything else. She is looking for blood every time.
You know, and it'd be nice to see a little bit more creativity out of the Knights offense with her up front instead of having her hit out of the middle all the time. Let her move around a little bit so the double block can't always be there, and get her a little bit more swings at the ball.
Speaking of creativity, mixing it up that time, Randolph with the back set. Looking for Alex Mariana. Now at service, taken by Bennett. Tlustik puts it up. Ooh, and blocked decisively that time is Vanessa Pollock.
You know, and this is where Caitlin's got to be a little bit smarter. She's been going outside, using those outside hitters almost exclusively, except for when Eaton's in the game. Now she's going to have to mix it up a little bit more, make sure that she keeps the blockers spread out.
Yeah, it just makes it so predictable. I mean, it's like a football game where you're running it up the middle every time. It makes it really easy for the defense to know where to go, and in this case, a very, very similar situation, I would imagine.
Yeah, I was watching Nebraska against Stanford the other night, and they can be predictable. They got 6'4", 6'2", 6'2" on the front line, and they're just daring each other, see if you can out-jump me. We don't have that. Not a lot of teams in the nation have that.
Sure.
So you have to be able to spread the blockers out, be a little bit less predictable instead of going outside.
Well, certainly it allows for, you don't have to be the strongest athlete. You don't have to have the greatest technique if you can mix it up and not let your opponent know what's coming. And that's true in volleyball as it is in any sport.
Yes. And then the hitter's got to be a little bit smarter to use the block if it's there instead of trying to pound through it.
Absolutely. Mariana again. Over and one. Taken by Bennett to Tlustik. And down hard.
Got the point. Randolph was in the net that time.
Yeah.
Can you believe it?
I was going to say.
It wasn't us.
I saw a call of someone in the net and just went, oh, no. But we're good this time. 14-16. Valerie Arkansas checking in for Southern Virginia and goes directly to the service line. Over to Harrington, taking and a quick push shot. Great save by Southern Virginia. Back over to the Knights again. Set up this time and struck down hard. Vanessa Pollock, not deterred by the block last time, goes right back to the middle again, and this time finds the floor.
And that's the merits of having two setters in at the same time. Caitlin Tlustik had to take the first hit. Valerie was able to come up, set the ball outside to Vanessa Pollock, and she was able to put it down.
Oh, that time well played. The Knights recognizing that quick spike. Coming back up to Tlustik. Rolls off the net. Opportunity here for the Wildcats. And it's long. Point to Southern Virginia. Rallying now 16 points apiece, and they are on a run. Looking to come back at this one at a very important time.
And again, a freshman back serving. Sometimes it's good to have freshmen backs playing so much because they don't know any better.
And that one put down for the Wildcats. 17-16 now. Jordan Templin at the service line for Randolph. Right to Tlustik. Outside hitting again. Tipped off the fingers. Well played that time by Callan Berry. She's able to play it right off the side of the fingers of the Wildcat defender and find the point.
You know, and that's part of a new rule that was in there. Usually you couldn't touch anything outside the net, the post, the net itself. Now because they want to continue play and keep the players safe, you can actually grab a hold of the post.
Interesting. And that time, the point to Southern Virginia on an errant shot by Randolph. But, boy, that play was absolutely kept alive. Vanessa Pollock with the dive rollout over here, committing to getting that one. Unfortunately, the serve on the next one out of bounds, and we're tied at 18 points apiece, Coach.
But it's better to be tied than behind.
It is absolute.
So now the Knights, they gave up the serve. They need to get this serve back and then run out 2 points. Keep on doing that. You win, no problem.
Bennett to Touloustic again. Oh, tipped over, but answered right back by Randolph. 19-18 now the lead. Noelle Wojciechowski to Touloustic again and puts it down hard. Southern Virginia refuses to go away in this game. That's Callan Berry again. Haven't heard a lot from her tonight, but she's warming up.
Yeah, that was a better set by Caitlin. It was much lower. Didn't allow the middle blocker to get there and close the blocks down, and Callan was able to put it where she wanted to.
And that's an ace. Southern Virginia with a little momentum now, 20-19. Be a great time to start the drive to close out this set. Oh, that time again, a hard commitment. And looks like Southern Virginia wanted to call for a player in the net that time.
Coach Lee's over there talking to Terry Martin, the down referee, wanting to know, hey, why didn't you call anything? The net was bouncing all over the place. I think referee Martin was saying, I think it was the ball that hit it. So,
well, we know they know how to make the call on a player in the net. It's certainly not unfamiliarity. Played this time by the Wildcats. Over to the back line. Set up to the front. Touloustic with a push. Taken by the Wildcats. A little bit of confusion, though. Players trying to cover each other and get out of position, and all of a sudden they run out of hits, and it doesn't go over the net.
Now, this is the rotation that the Knights need to finish on. You have Eaton up front, you got Phillips up front, and you got Owens up front. You can spread the ball out wherever you want.
And Touloustic certainly able to close it out. Great from the service line. Unfortunately, that's not going to do it. McClinton again for Randolph on that short set.
And the Knights need to learn. Just go with her. The setter hasn't brought the ball over at all on her own, so they got to line up and face the hitters.
Catherine Lesnack with the serve over, and it's long. Knights getting helped out a little bit by the service error.
Still a good rotation now. Just replace Phillips with Pollock up front. Again, keep the ball in, play it out.
Good first point. There we go. Back over to the outside. Eaton playing scared to get in the net, it looks like. Good block. The volley continues.
Free ball. Here it goes. Here it goes.
And played right down the net that time. Vanessa Pollock. And you could see the opportunity that time. Caitlin Eaton jumping up and the defenders collapsing to her. And as soon as they do, Pollock just went up and found that opportunity, rolled it down the net, and put it away.
And that's what a great player will do for you. Will create one-on-ones now. As long as Caitlin will go for the ball every time, you don't have to set her, but that's going to occupy the middle blocker. You got one-on-one on the outside. Caitlin Touloustic, all she has to do is make sure that the set stays inside the antennas, and we can run this game out.
Absolutely. Great opportunities there. As you said, when one player gets hot, great. Go to somebody else because they still have to respect as soon as they shift to someone else. There's always that opportunity. And that's a great 1-2 punch this time, especially, like you said, with Touloustic, the chops and the ability to put it to either one of them.
And when you're coming in to play other teams, you know who their kill leaders are. And we know Caitlin Eaton has over 170 kills. They're going to be keying on her. Let her go for the ball. Fake it to her, give it to one of the outsides, and you're good to go.
Service by Phillips, and right back over. Southern Virginia looking to close out this set. Set point coming up, 24-21. Well played that time by Vanessa Pollock, who's just having a heck of a game. Over to the Wildcats, outside, blocked well. Received by the Wildcats, back in, and another block. And the call goes over to Southern Virginia on the double hit, plaguing these Wildcats. 25-21, your score in the second set. As you said earlier, Coach, better to be tied than behind.
That's true. And once you get ahead, staying ahead is paramount. You don't want to have that momentum switch at all. And the Knights did a great job of, once they got ahead, staying ahead and finishing that set out. Let's just make sure and hope that they can carry this momentum further on now.
Yeah, now that we've got that, certainly the momentum more in the Knights' favor, having won that second set, looking to move forward. We'll see if they can keep that momentum going into this third set now. But as we said after the first one, pretty evenly matched.
Yes, it is. And we were trying to get it 3 games and out because that's what you always want to do, is win those 3 games and get out. I'll take 3-1.
Oh, that's kind of you. I appreciate that. Well, we'll see if we can, if the Knights can close that out going forward. Now tied at 1 apiece. Again, it didn't look like there was a whole lot that changed on the Knights' side of the ball that time. They went with the hard game more than anything else. It looks like they're trusting their hitters to finish, to play strong and to find holes.
Well, you know, the Knights were ahead until Rito went out. The shock of one of your teammates going out, and I'm sure they're concerned about her during the rest of the game and not really paying attention to what was going on in the first set. They settled down in the second set. They know that Shannon's out for the rest of the night. They seem to settle into their roles a whole lot better now. And we'll make sure, and hopefully Coach Lee will make sure that they continue that settling motion and just ease into the rest of the match.
Well, sounds like a plan to me, Coach. Now as we're getting the stats coming across the desk, the first number that jumps out to me, I'm pretty sure that Vanessa Pollock has as many kills as any other 3 players on Southern Virginia combined so far.
Yes, and she's doing a great job, especially hitting at a very high rate. Anytime you hit over 300, you're having a fantastic match. She's hitting over 400 now.
Gotta love that. Got to love that. On the other side, a couple of players hitting pretty well there as well. Marissa McClinton still loving to play those very short sets and putting it down hard. She's hitting 500 herself. And then, as you mentioned, Player of the Week in the ODAC last week, Alex Mariana hitting 500 as well with 6 and 5 kills respectively.
The middles for Southern Virginia is going to have to start keying on McMichael. They know it. Or McClinton, I'm sorry. They know that what she likes to do. Like, we haven't seen a high out set go to her at all. It's always those little push shoot sets. They're going to have to key on her and force the setter to make a decision. Am I going to take it over myself or set it someplace else?
Yeah, well, as you mentioned, I think the big thing the Knights need right now is a little bit of creativity. That time they were able to assert their will with just power, but we're going to have to mix that up a little bit as we head now into the third set. Once again, Southern Virginia Knights tied with the Randolph College Wildcats, 1 set apiece heading into set 3.
The Knights will be serving, starting off with Caitlin Talusik right now.
Service starting with the Knights. Blue stick into the back line, and that time McClinton, like she did last time, going up on the short set, but it goes just wide.
Again, if the connection's there, if you're right on time, it's a great shot. When you miss it, even by half a second, it sails out of bounds.
Fielded by the back row this time. And beautiful play at the net by Southern Virginia, and they stayed out of the net too.
They stayed out of the net, and the set was a little bit further back, so the Knights knew they had a little bit more time to set the block, and they're showing a level of maturity now.
2-0. Great way to start the set. Tlustik into Harrington. Played up to McClinton again, this time with a push shot. The Knights put it over. Back to Harrington again. And that one found the floor. Point over to Randolph.
Now they got Pollock going. We know Eaton can do things. We've got to try to get Hannah Phillips going a little bit more now.
Service coming in, taken by Bennett. Up to Tlustik. Back set this time. There they were, getting a little more creative like we talked about. Free ball over to Southern Virginia again. Back and forth, and McClinton this time. Lots of onesies going over, and McClinton able to put it down.
And anytime there's an overpass, you can almost guarantee the team that overpass it will lose that point.
Well, tough on that one since both teams seem to overpass a couple of times. Over to the Knights. Bennett fielding it. Over to Tlustik. And Owen with a misplay that time.
And as well as the Knights started out this set, they've just fallen that far off.
2 points to 3 now. Randolph with the serve. Taken by Bennett in the overpass. And a couple of pancakes, but short of a full stack, unfortunately.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Service remaining with Randolph. Catherine Lesnack sending it over. Tlustik with it. A little miscommunication there and didn't get over. Great back set, but there was nobody there.
Nobody home.
Nobody there to finish. 5-2 now. Knights looking to stop the bleeding. Lesnack over again, that same spot. Gave the Knights trouble last time and looks like it may again. Owen with the second hit. Over the net this time, but a free ball indeed. McClinton now with the save again, and McClinton again. Able to put it down. The Knights reeling a little bit now.
It appears like we've forgotten how to pass.
And an early timeout, I think necessarily so, taken by Coach Lee. Not looking like the poised team that we had out here in sets 1 and 2.
And she's going to remind them how to pass.
Oh. How exactly do you remind your team how to pass? Hey, you stand like this, hands together.
You talk about if we don't remember how to pass, just imagine what practice is going to be like tomorrow.
Fear as a powerful motivator.
Well, it's not fear, it's just a promise of things to come.
Fair enough.
You know, and it's a young team. The majority of the team are freshmen. Sometimes emotions can get the best of them, and it causes them to pull off on some of their passes, not being able to stay down in their stance long enough to get the ball to go up instead of out. And these are things that you have to remind them of because they don't see it themselves. In high school, they're able to get away with it because they're good athletes. You get to a college level, they're all good athletes.
Well, certainly losing that advantage, as we mentioned earlier, you got to get a little trickier. You got to improve your form a little bit. We'll see how it goes this time. Bennett over, and just when the Knights need some help, who do they find but Caitlin Eaton putting it down hard.
And the pass was just to where Tlustik didn't have to move at all.
Hannah Phillips, service over. Oh, and a little miscommunication that time. That was Alex Mariana almost taking out the ref there.
Oh, he's okay. The referee stand is put into the standards themselves, so he wouldn't go anywhere.
Outstanding. Little too hot to handle that time. Jordan Templin putting it down for Randolph. And
if the Knights can stop this rally right now and get the ball back, everything will start to right itself.
Harrington with the service. Oh, just sneaks over the net. That's a heartbreaker.
Yeah, there's not much you can do about that one.
Service again from Harrington. Taken by the back row up to Tlustik. Back set again. Blocked at the net, and Owen unable to save it. Owen struggling this game. Had a couple of mistakes in an earlier set, but played a very good first set.
And again, she's hasn't played in a while, so we can count her as a freshman.
Sure.
And the emotions start to get the best of them.
Touched the shot that time by Pollock. The Knights with free, another touch shot, and this time able to get it down before Lexi Harrington can get there. 5-9. Now the Knights with service. Caitlin Eaton backing up to the line. Back up to the front row, this time to the outside, and a lot of pepper put on that one. Jordan Templin as the outside hitter.
And they spread the Knights out. It was a one-on-one block. Usually hitters win the one-on-one war 90% of the time.
Service coming up this time. Mariana. Long set that time. And taken well by libero Lexi Harrington, but unable to keep it in bounds as it goes back over the net. The Knights now 6-10.
They've got to think only 1 point at a time. They can't look at the scoreboard. We're down by 4. Let's get it all back right now. Get this point, and then you'll think about the next one as it comes up.
There's no 4-point play in volleyball?
Unfortunately, no. I wish.
What if you hit it over into the basketball and that doesn't count for something? Only in church ball?
Only in church ball.
Oh, touch shot that time saved very well by Bennett. Volley continues, and that time just held over the top by Noelle Wojciechowski, winning that war at the net.
And you can see that Noelle's just a little bit more physical, stronger at the net than Kaylin Berry.
Looked like she was there a little bit earlier, too, had better position. Up into the roof, but that's just how we play. Tipped over, opportunity now for the Wildcats, and rolls it right off of the fingers of Caitlin Tlustik.
And now the Wildcats are starting to play smart. Instead of trying to pound everything, now they're starting to find where the blockers are. Use their hands to their advantage. Get the ball down on the floor or into the antenna.
Well, it's got to be frustrating for the Knights now to be losing to not even those powerful shots. Now to the back line. The Wildcats scrambling, and that not going to do it.
But you can notice the demeanor of the two teams has changed now. The Wildcats are relaxed, they're loose, they're laughing, they're having fun. The Knights look very tense.
Absolutely. Though the last couple of plays, errors on the side of the Wildcats. We'll see if the Knights can turn into points. And the point does go over to Southern Virginia. The last couple of points, Randolph kind of scrambling a little bit. A little out of sorts.
Again, the momentum shifts and being out of system versus in system.
Way to be down low in the back line that time, predicting the short one. And unfortunately, airmailed it just a little bit. Is Hannah Phillips, her shot just long.
Hannah got a little bit too much up underneath the ball that time. Didn't keep the ball out in front of her to where she could drive the ball down instead of forward.
Service now by Noelle Wojciechowski. Up to Tlustik. Back set again. Played well by Callan Berry. McClinton again. Back over, and that time, great play by the Knights, putting it way down out in front. Too difficult for Price to get to.
But you notice that Callan Berry was right there in front of McClinton that time. She stayed with her, jumped when she jumped, knowing that a short ball could be coming, and got her hands on it to start that rally for the Knights.
And speaking of that short ball, lot of push that time coming from Marissa McClinton.
I'm not very much a fan of that play. They let middle blockers get away with that a lot where they can redirect the ball. They're not supposed to be able to do that.
Service coming up again, coming into the Knights. Tlustik has to just feed it over to Bennett, but able to put it down well. Opportunity, though, for the Wildcats, and unable to get underneath that one after the block is Southern Virginia. 15-9 now, starting to get a little bit out of hand.
Yeah, look for, if the Wildcats get another point, look for Coach Lee to call her last timeout.
Barry McMichael now with the serve. To the back line of Southern Virginia, up to Tlustik. Hard shot by Phillips. And that one finds the floor. Boy, Alex Mariana showing that she well deserved that award last week. Doing very well for herself tonight.
Yes, the Wildcats have really improved over the past couple years. and they're showing that they might be a force to be reckoned with in the ODAC.
Oh, over on 2 that time goes Tlustik. Mariana over. Eaton with the setup and puts it down hard that time. Eaton to Tlustik to Eaton. And lots of steep angle on that one.
Now Caitlin's starting to cut it back against her body. She has been going with her body, the angle that she's coming in. That time she cut it back against her body, trying to mix things up, making sure that she gets the one-on-one blocking all the time.
Service over the net. And again to Mariana, fielded well by Bennett. And oh my goodness, saved by Randolph. Pushed again by Eaton. McClinton to the back line. Back up to the front. Tlustik jumping set to the outside, and it is on the line. It is in. Southern Virginia, after that crazy rally by both teams, hanging on to it.
And Hannah Phillips couldn't have come across and dropped the ball any better.
I didn't know you could do that.
That was in the coffin corner.
Ooh. And just as it looked like the Knights were starting to pick up some momentum, a serve into the net. That hurts. This 6-point lead by Randolph has been sticking around for a while now.
Yeah, the Knights are going to have to reel them in very soon.
Push over the top by Eaton. Saved, but a free ball opportunity here for the Knights. Tlustik to the outside again. Phillips with it, and it's touched. Point to Southern Virginia. Well played that time, and the Knights looking to rally.
It's starting to get a little bit late into the set now. The Knights are going to have to start bringing Randolph back into them.
Fielded, and well that time by McClinton. The Knights picking it up, though, forward set, and down hard. Still played, though, by Randolph. Back over to Bennett. Tlustik with the set. Blocked by McClinton. Other way over on 2. Harrington with it. Back to Bennett. Saved that time by Mariana, but unable to get to the outside. Carrie McMichael making a run for the door, but not able to get there in time. Both of these teams fighting very hard right now, Mike.
And there's a lot of trickery going on there. Setter takes it over on one side, Setter takes it on the other side, and then Melissa Owens able to put it away by the use of the top of the net.
Yeah, that was Bennett and Harrington, the libero for each team, just going back and forth for a while there as well. That's going to be a free ball over to Southern Virginia. Set coming from libero Bennett. And Owen with a hard spike. Over on 2 is McClinton. The Knights with another opportunity. Set by Tlustik and did not get over the net that time. That set looked like it was just wide.
It was a little bit pushed Vanessa Pollock a little bit too far to the outside. Wasn't able to stay up underneath the ball. It was falling back trying to keep it in. This is the point where the Knights have to buckle down.
Can break the curse of that 6-point lead by cutting it to 4 here. And boy, that'll help, except
Randolph's in the net that time.
Excellent. We'll take it. Southern Virginia now 14-18. Picking up service. And the opportunity for Caitlin Eaton to do some damage from the service line. Great set that time to the backside. Oh, well played, though, by the Knights. Just got to get it over the net this time.
There we go. Played it off the roof well.
Oh, good tip shot that time. Jordan Templin reading the defense well and putting it right over their hands. 5-point lead now. Mariana back at the line. Taken from the back line up to Tlustik. Whoa! And tipping it just above her head and closing out very, very hard that time. I didn't see, who was that?
Kaylin Berry.
Oh, yeah. She's come on a few of these points.
She has. She's giving the Knights another option up front, and that's what they need, again, to be a little bit more creative and spread the ball around.
Valerie Arkansas deep to the corner. It was just barely over that line.
You know, and the Wildcats are a good team, but in this set, the Knights have been beating themselves.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Bennett this time. Over to Tlustik. And down hard by Pollock. Free ball over to the Knights again. Tlustik over on 2. Fielded by Harrington. Block at the net that time on Lesnak. Just have to send it over is Bennett. Over on 1. And once again, some of that trickery you're talking about, able to catch the Knights sleeping a little bit.
And you can see how the Wildcats are defending that. Every time our setter's touching the ball, the libero is up short. And it's just making sure that she's able to get anything that comes over, and then she releases on the set.
Hard shot that time by Barry, but fielded. Blocked again, a little bit more net play. Outside and way long. And
called Barry in the net.
15-22. And the thing is, Coach, like I said, that 6-point lead has stuck around for a while, but it hasn't grown. At times it's shrunk to 4, at times it's gone to 7, but it's been right around that 6-point lead.
And anytime the Knights look like they're able to get some momentum going, they shoot themselves in the foot, in the net, or long serve, or misconnection on a free ball for an easy kill.
Well, and that's what's so odd about it, because the last set, they were in the net all over the place, and they end up winning the set. This time they've been relatively penalty-free, but just a lot of mental mistakes, communication mistakes as a team, and they're down 7 points.
Yeah, and sometimes it doesn't matter how many mistakes you make, but it's when you make them. And the Knights have made them at the most inopportune times in this set. Just when you think they're going to grab some momentum, they make that one mistake and let the Wildcats either have the point, or the Wildcats are able to take the point away from them.
Well, and also, I have to imagine it doesn't help a whole lot to be able to make a lot of mental mistakes in the second set and win.
Yes.
And say, oh, okay, well, yeah, what we did last time we can still win, but this time Randolph able to capitalize on those a little bit more, and to the tune of 7 points now and 3 points to finishing out this set. Service over the top. Over on that one. And like you've talked about so many times, Dave, that first hit, and that first hit was very, very long. Quick capitalization by the Wildcats. Over the top again. Set to Tlustik. Back set. And down hard. Beautiful execution that time. And Callan Berry once again warming up.
Berry's able to run a slide attack coming on the backside. Spread the blockers out. So we're, again, there's some signs of life. It's just, can they sustain those signs of life?
Well, certainly with 2 points to close it out, the Knights would have to go on a heck of a run at this point. Let's see if they've got it in them. Play up that time, that short set again, fielded well by the Knights. Beautiful hole that time, wow. Hannah Phillips right between the hands of the defenders, unable to defend that once it got past them. Lexi Harrington going to the floor, but not able to keep it in bounds. Free ball over to the Knights. Tlustik, and unfortunately have to give the free ball right back. Great dig out that time. But a free ball again, just long. Ooh, boy, I'll tell you, if this ball were not quite as inflated, if it could squish a little bit more when it hit the floor, the Knights would have 3 more points. That back line.
They may have to investigate that now.
And here we go again, the back set. Off the hands of the net. Barry trying to put it down. One-handed push shot that time by Lesnak. The Knights looking to close again. That one just barely over to Randolph, and that's the set, 25-17. So, to review, the Knights take the first one. The Knights take the second set after falling in the first one, and now losing the third one as well. Unfortunately, that's their worst so far.
Yes, but if we want to be superstitious, like most athletes are, all games tonight, all sets tonight have been won on this right-hand side.
Oh, okay.
So it's the Knights' turn to win.
Speaking of investigating things, there's got to be something wrong with the left side of the court.
Must be something wrong. Yeah. Either the gym's slanted or what have you. But, you know, if I'm talking to the Knights, I'm sitting there saying, okay, we're on the good side now.
Yeah.
Let's make sure we get this, and then we get to that fifth set where we can choose which side we're going to start on. But we can't even start talking about the fifth set until we make sure we take care of business in this fourth set.
Yeah, at this point, the Knights hoping to make it to a fifth set as they're currently trailing 2-1 as we get ready to head into the fourth here.
And we'll see what kind of, we talked about leadership earlier. We'll see what kind of leadership that Caitlin Caitlin Talustic and April Bennett can provide for the Knights. And if the freshmen can follow their lead, or if the freshmen are going to be the leaders themselves.
Well, and opportunities for that, there's certainly a lot of talent. We've talked a little bit about talent and a little bit about athleticism and a little bit about intelligence, I guess, all playing roles into this, but leadership, kind of an independent quality of all those. You can be a freshman and come in and through your behavior really step up in one of those leadership roles, but by the same token, you can come in as a senior and maybe not have that. So it's really about who's going to step up in this scenario and say, hey, we're down 2-1, but it's our gym. Who's going to have that pride, that confidence, and that swagger to come in and get the team going.
And this year we're in a much different situation than we ever have been in years past. All these preseason games that they're playing are to prepare them for conference play. We've never had that before. That's the only thing that really matters, is doing well in your conference. So playing teams like Randolph, who have been playing really well this season, if you win, that's the icing on the cake. Being able to play the hard teams in order for your growth. So when you get to play CNU and you get to play Frostburg and Salisbury, that you have that confidence that we've been in battles before. Now we're able to take that into our conference. You come in the top 6 in your conference, they're able to go to a conference championship, which we've never had, which is a great thing for these young ladies to strive for.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun as the season comes on and we do get into conference. I'll tell you what, if I were on that team, I would be offended because the third set just finished and the pizzas just got here for the other team. They were clearly thinking, okay, 3 sets and we're out of here. The Knights already showing that's not going to happen, picking up the second set, but now 2-1. I'm sure they want to extend it even more as we look to move forward into this now fourth set.
Yes, and anything that you can find to give you that little extra motivation and momentum, teams have to use. So hopefully they saw the pizzas come in, and hopefully we get to that fifth set, and if we do, maybe the pizzas will get cold and they don't want them, and Art, you and I can have dinner.
Hey, there you go. Absolutely. I'm on a diet, so you can have twice dinner. All righty. Heading now into the fourth set. See how Southern Virginia can do. Service up to the outside. That one not a great start, unfortunately. Set to the outside for Hannah Phillips, but the defenders right there able to put it down back in Knight territory.
And there we go. We're talking about some imagination, not just setting it high to the outside all the time. This is something Knights are going to have to really practice and work on.
Yeah, you can do one thing well, but one-trick ponies, that's not a good comparison generally, right?
That's right. We've had a new player in, McKenna Foster, just checking out right now for Melissa Owens coming in.
Yeah, and good to see lots of energy, lots of optimism up on the Knights, not getting discouraged, but looking for opportunities to equalize. Now one apiece. And a hard hit that time, but the Knights give it right back to them. Strong net play. Once again, lots of energy, lots of confidence. And the Knights come up big on that one, 2-1 now.
And if I were the Knights, I'd like to see Mariana come back to the middle. She has a long arm swing, which means you have plenty of time to form the block and get up and block.
Great detail there. And once again, now the frustration starting to sit in a little bit on the Randolph side. Lexi Harrington that time not real happy with herself after that. It was apparent in her face. Not real happy. Coming back over. Tlustic with the serve. It's long. Set to the outside. Mariana taken well by Bennett. The Knights not quite able to get it over. Good hustle that time. Able to get 3 hits out of it, though. It looked like in the past few sets, that could have been something that found the floor immediately.
That was a good scramble play. The Knights had a chance, just couldn't get it to quite go over the net.
Bennett to Lustig. Push shot. Not going to hit it by Eaton. Coming back over, and that one between the hands. Finding the floor for Jordan Templin.
You know, and they're double teaming Caitlin Eaton right now. Wherever she goes, they're following her. So now they're going to have a little bit quicker tempo set, not so high to the outside, and she should be open.
Oh, hard shot that time. They can follow her all she wants. That doesn't mean they can stop her. Service back over to Southern Virginia. Hannah Phillips at the line. Hard to the back corner. And it is out.
Again, these service errors are just killing the Knights. So far into this fourth set, we have 7 service errors.
Hard shot once again from the corner. This time Vanessa Pollock getting back in on the action.
And as quick as Pollock and Phillips are, you don't have to set it that high. Let them use their quickness to get to the ball. Just set it a little bit lower. Don't let the block form.
Push shot over the top that time. Well played by Alex Mariana. She's abusing the fact that the defenders from Southern Virginia know how hard she can hit. They have to go up for it and playing over the top. Now at the service line. Dug out, up to Talustik. Saved well by the Wildcats. Tip shot over. Kept alive. Over to Talustik again. Free ball over by Bennett. Taken by Mariana. Over in 2. Right back over by Bennett. Service up outside. And that one struck down by Jordan Templin. She's having a much better set this time as well.
Yeah, it seems like the outside hitters for the Wildcats are starting to find their rhythm. Again, the Knights need to change their blocking up just a little bit. Push the block towards the middle of the floor just a step, and they might get their hands on the ball a lot more.
Set way from the back that time, but a beautiful tip over the top. That was a very smart play by Vanessa Pollock over the defenders, and there was nobody close to that one.
Well, she's been hitting hard. You get back on your heels. She's very smart to see them back on their heels and just put it right over the top of the block.
Yeah, the block going up very hard for it. She could have parked a Buick where she put that one down. Oh, tip over the top, but sent right back at them. Oh, and dug out that time by April Bennett, but unfortunately it didn't have much power on it, so she wasn't able to add anything to it, so just not getting up high enough to get it done.
It seems like the Knights are getting caught flat-footed more often now.
Oh, very long, but the Knights decide to play it. Fielded well once again, coming up over, and that time point over to Southern Virginia, Vanessa Pollock.
And there's making something out of nothing, which the Knights need to be able to do more, playing that out of system. We know they're good in system, but when things go wrong and they make a bad pass, they're going to have to make those good plays.
Speaking of bad passes, that time the Wildcats caught the Knights with an opportunity and down hard. Taken by the Wildcats, though. Over as a free ball again. Bennett, Talustik. Put down the line and very well taken that time. As you mentioned, changing it up. Finding the seams, making it a little harder, not trying to go hard, but going right down the line.
And Barry seems to really enjoy that one-footed slide attack.
Oh, back set that time over by Talustik, showing she can do more than set two. She can get points all on her own. And timeout taken this time by Randolph. The Knights rallying, now leading 9-7. Looking to make a match of this.
And you can see that Coach Matthews from Randolph, she doesn't want the Knights to get too far away, because now the momentum's starting to go. If they get too far away, you carry momentum into the fifth set, it's just going to be one of those issues of, can you slow the Knights down now and get the momentum back to your side? The Knights' big job is to keep that momentum going, keep diving on the floor, keep making the plays out of nothing that they have, and when they do have the play, really take care of the ball at that point.
Well, and it really is all about taking care of those opportunities, because the Knights have had them, and when they've played them well, they've gone on runs. And when they haven't, and there have certainly been times that they haven't, they've had that momentum go right back in the favor of the Wildcats, who have been doing a very good job of taking those opportunities as they've had them.
Now I hope Ms. Pollock understands that coaches call timeouts to stop certain servers. She just has to keep the ball in, just roll it in. And there it goes out of bounds. The first serve after timeout, you just roll it in. Let them come back at you. Play your defense, but you got to keep that serve in bounds.
We've mentioned that once or twice tonight, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
I think we've talked about that.
It's very frustrating.
No doubt. Lustig, back set, and down with authority. Hard shot. Callan Berry getting juiced in this one.
And that's where she's comfortable. In the last couple of matches, she's been playing that right side hitter, so when she gets that set on the right side, she is deadly.
And, confusion that time. Have to be played over, and it will not be. Southern Virginia, after that service error, able to keep it together, get a couple of quick points. And they're back up now by 3. Opportunity here. Bennett gets it over. Looks like, and rolls right down the net. Essentially a free ball to Southern Virginia. Ooh. Shot hard to the outside, but a little too much on that for Hannah Phillips.
And that's one of those shots where the blocker didn't even go up with her. She should have took it a little bit more cross court instead of trying to cut it so fine.
It's got to be such a hard thing when you get up in the air to make that decision so quickly, but in that case, not a good one. Good hustle that time, trying to get underneath it for Vanessa Pollock, but just not a good first hit. And once again, back to within 1. Randolph looking to tie now, 11-10.
And so far tonight, McMichael has been the best server for Randolph.
Good set by Lustig. Putting it down, but saved well by the Wildcats. Coming back. Taken by Bennett. To Lustig again. And double hit.
Yeah, you can see that as Caitlin was running, her left and right hand contacted the ball at different times. Came out kind of funny. They had to call that.
Unfortunate now at 11 apiece. And that one into the net. That's what she gets for you complimenting her, saying she'd been the best one.
Well, sometimes you have to have that to stop a great server. Like I said, she's been serving 5-6 points at a time.
Well, yeah, but she's on the cursed side of the floor now.
That's true. I wasn't going to bring that up.
That's okay. I got you. It's Lustig serving this time. Back to Harrington. Up, and that quick shot by McClinton. Oh! The Knights looked like they were adapting to it, ready for it, but just not able to keep it in bounds.
And McClinton that time, instead of trying to hammer the ball, just pushed it off of Caitlin Eaton's hands and hoping that it'd find the floor, and it did.
Knights with another opportunity now. Hard, and it rolls off that time. Well played by Hannah Phillips. 13-12. The Knights were hoping to run away with this one with an early lead, but now it being kept close by the Wildcats. The Knights still leading, though. Opportunity to extend that here. McClinton, and looked like the Knights bit on that play. McClinton looking like she was going to do the short set spike, but going back to the outside, that other big weapon, Alex Mariana.
Yeah, that was a great play set by the Wildcats. You have to respect McClinton in the middle, and when they use her as a fake, something that just can't get away with. But there's Pollock again.
Boy, I'll tell you, she has a very bright future here, just a freshman, but she is putting her stamp on this game so far tonight. Eaton with the serve. Tough to handle. It's going to be over, but a free ball to Southern Virginia. It's Lustig with the set. Taken that time by Harrington on the other side. Lustig with it up. And a hard shot that time. Melissa Owen has really shaken off those struggles she had before.
And we don't want to say it's because they're on the left side.
But it helps.
It's because they're on the left side. They're on the right side now, and things are good.
Coming over. Eaton, and that time with the ace. Boy, a heck of a lot of English on the serve that time. Unable to be handled by the Randolph Wildcats. The Knights now 16-13.
And you have Eaton doing everything she can to extend this match.
Back serve again. Mariana serve. Saved temporarily. Great dig by Hannah Phillips, followed by Caitlin Eaton, but unable to keep it in bounds. But again, a few points on that. As long as they can get a couple more every time, some real opportunities to win this one. Way outside. Wow. and
Pollock had her hair caught in the net.
Pollock caught in the net. Didn't that happen to a tennis player not too long ago? Wozniacki got her hair caught in her racket. She's just trying to.
But that's part of that new rule where everything outside the antenna is free play. You can touch it, you can hit it.
Huh. Benefiting from that time is Southern Virginia. And that, once again, very decisive play so far by Jordan Templin, really coming alive in this set as well as the last one.
And the Wildcats are starting to run more play sets. They run little X's, they run a double set right there.
Lustig with the set, comes right back at him. Overpass, unable to get underneath it that time. 17-16, it is staying close, and service with Randolph. Really important for the Knights to start extending this lead.
We need to see how long Coach Lee is going to let them have the momentum before she calls a timeout.
And a lot of power right down that outside line. Vanessa Pollock said her name a couple times tonight, too.
You know, she's having a much better set. The last set, she only had 2 kills in it. She's already had about 5 in this set, so she's doing a whole lot better.
And very long that time. Knights keep their hands out of the way, and it sails out of bounds. They'll get the point, 19-16. And just as we said, they need to start extending. They do. Oh,
and April Bennett knew that. As soon as it hit the ground, she knew that she'd made a mistake by not going for it.
Yep, you could see her pull her hands back, but then immediately clench those fingers like, ooh, I didn't mean to do that. 19-17. Play it up to the net to Lustig. And that one sails long, but stays inbounds.
Again, Barry using her familiarity of being a right side hitter, hitting off the right side there, brings Caitlin Eaton back into the game now.
Service by Bennett this time, played up in the net. Goes over and well played that time. Hannah Phillips closing it out. And that's a timeout. Coach Matthews wants to talk it over. Now trailing 21-17. 4 more points, and the Knights will win the set, tying it at 2 apiece, and that'll send us to a 5th.
And anything can happen in 5th sets. But again, Coach Matthews called the timeout. Try to stop the momentum. It's imperative that Vanessa Pollock keep this serve in. It doesn't matter how she keeps it in. She just has to keep it in. Give her a chance to play defense, which gives you a chance to play offense. If she serves it out, then the timeout has done its job.
Yeah, the Knights have had so much momentum going recently, you don't want to take that away from yourself. That's got to be even more deflating than being outplayed, is not having the opportunity, like you said, to even make a play.
Yes. So anything that the Knights can do now to keep the ball in play, get that service momentum back, win the point, and then she can go back and serve hard again.
And here we go. Timeout running out, 21-17. The Knights, April Bennett to serve. 4 more points to try to close out this set. The Knights trailing 2-1 against the Randolph Wildcats. 4-point lead in this one. 4 more points to close it out. Bennett keeps it in and just about gets the ace, but not quite. Still the free ball over. Hard shot that time. Right up at the net and put down over the top. Very strong play that time by the Knights. Hannah Phillips putting it down hard. Lustig, strong play at the net. Timeout didn't work.
Timeout didn't work that time, and that's a great job by the Knights to make sure it didn't work.
Sink shot over there, and it's going to have to be free balled over. Lustig again, push shot. McClinton puts it right back. Ooh! Just barely outside. But still, you got to appreciate still the 4-point lead, closer to that goal at 25. That's a victory for Southern Virginia.
Now it's time to break the serve.
Lustig just trying to play it over. Ooh, McClinton taking that set, but from the other team, tough position to have that Lustig was put in, just trying to keep it alive, and unfortunately doesn't work out for her.
And the Knights are going to have to break this serve by McMichael.
Uh-oh. Sending it over, the free ball is Lustig into the back line. High set, and it goes down. Well played that time by Catherine Lesnack. The lead now at 2.
And here's Coach Lee
Timeout.
asking how many timeouts she had, making sure she still had 2. Call it now to try to break this momentum. Let's see if it works for the Knights now to slow the serve down to McMichael.
Well, they've certainly got, as we talked about, opportunity right now. 3 points to close this one out with that 2-point lead. And with service coming at you, they have a chance, but they're going to have to start getting on it right now. They had a lead of 4, 2 points straight. It's time, like you said, to break that service, but also that momentum that they've got to start closing this out.
And McMichael's a senior. She's been in this situation before, so I don't think the timeout is going to freeze her out. But now that gives you time to refocus on doing that first thing, making that pass.
And here we go. Service from McMichael. High to the back line. Played well up to Lustig and hard down. Boy, it's just pretty when it works, isn't it?
It's beautiful.
Caitlin Eaton off the hands of the defender, gets it down, and sub coming in this time. McKenna Coster coming out for Southern Virginia. And the big defender, Melissa Owen, back in the lineup.
Coach Lee able to refocus those passers. They made a perfect pass, and then we get the kill off of it. 2
points to finish this set. Great save that time by Bennett. And that is why she is in the lineup right now. Melissa Owen putting some power on it and sinking it down. 24-20, the Knights now looking to close.
You can teach a lot of things, but you can't teach height.
Not yet. We don't have the technology. And played over McClinton, trying that short set, but it gets sent right back at her. Soft touch. Played to the outside. Phillips over, back. Pollock, played to the back line. Once again, great save. Played up to Lustig. Again, Phillips trying to close, and McClinton able to put it down. Long volley, lots of scramble. Just didn't fall the way of the Knights that time.
Yeah, the Knights have to clean it up, and I would expect if the Wildcats win this point to watch Coach Lee call another timeout.
Played off of Bennett. Oh, no! And miscommunication. Oh. Lustig and Phillips caught looking at each other. 24-22, still the opportunity to close, but they got to do it here. Into the back line. Lustig with a good set. Down to Eaton, but dug out well. Over in 2. Back to Phillips. Back to Lustig. Back to Eaton, and there it is. Southern Virginia close out the second set. 25-22. And we're going to 5. Just like you wanted, Mike.
And so you can tell that the Knights haven't done 5 sets in a long time. They're trying to change sides. They need to stay on their side. The referee will call the 2 captains over. We'll have a coin flip to see who's going to serve and which side someone's going to take.
Well, you know, we said which player was going to be more influential on their team tonight. I don't know the answer to that. Certainly Caitlin Eaton's been authoritative. Certainly Alex Mariana's been authoritative. I don't know. It's been a tough one, but the Knights have had a lot of key players. So have the Wildcats.
As you talked about before, the Knights have great athletic ability and a lot of talent. It's just trying to get that talent to play together at the same time. Just imagine if you have Pollock and Eaton and Owens, and when Ramito's back, her and Phillips all on their game at the same time. It would almost be unfair for the other team.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure it's allowed in the rules, so unfair or not, we'll take it.
That's true. There's nothing in the rules that's against that.
Absolutely.
And that's what the Knights are going for. And again, playing in this fifth set, you know, we all want the Knights to win. We're rooting for them. They're our home team. But this is much more than just about winning right now. It's about learning how to get through a fifth set. And when you have to gut it out and you're not at home, you already have that experience to fall back on. This is a great learning experience for the Knights.
Well, and it's also great to show that they can hang in there with tough teams, because certainly, you know, losing the first set, okay, they came back and leveled in the second, but they lost the third set badly, and it would have been very easy, especially for a young team, to buckle under that and say, okay, well, we're facing a better opponent and just kind of go down without swinging. But the Knights hung in that time, even after getting punched in the mouth a few times with some strong rallies by Randolph, but able to close that out and even create a fifth set.
And I don't want to say that it's because they're on the right side, but every team that's been on the right side has won tonight. So call me superstitious. Something tonight about this right side of the court has produced winners.
So that's the question. Did we pick the right or did they pick the left?
We'll have to find out who's starting to serve first, because if they're serving, I think Miss Eaton picked this right side. Now
we'll see if she's the superstitious type.
We'll see if the rules have stayed the same, and they change all the time. So I need to get my rule book back out. But at 8 points, they should switch sides.
Interesting. So,
but the rule could have changed. That's old school volleyball. That's back when they didn't score on every point.
So when games could really go on forever.
Oh, they did go on forever. That's why you only played to 15. The only way you could score was when you served.
Well, that's a good point. Here in the fifth set, it is rally scoring to 15 as opposed to 25 as it is in the other sets. Let's see how it goes.
Looks like Randolph picked that side to begin with.
Interesting. Not superstitious types. Hard shot that time. Put down well, Catherine Lesnack. She's had some big plays tonight. And here to help her team in the fifth set, looks like Shannon Ramito came back out. She's been back in the training room for the last few. Up hard that time, Caitlin Eaton finding the floor.
And look for the first team to get a 3-point lead, the other team to call a timeout. But they're only going to 15. You cannot waste any time or waste points.
Hannah Phillips, service over. Push shot. Oh, my goodness. Well played that time by Bennett. Oh, and a great attempt by the Knights to defend, but not able to do it. And adjusting the scoreboard, it should be 2-1, I believe. Taking a minute for that. There it is. So 2-1 lead, Randolph over Southern Virginia here in this fifth and deciding set. And that one long.
And maybe Randolph is starting to feel some of the pressure too.
Perhaps so. Bennett and Phillips looking at each other and both deciding, I don't want it, you don't want it. And in that case, it works out because it went long. Service over the top. And an odd pass back there. Now a free ball, but unable to field it. Very strange play that time by both teams.
Yeah, the setter tried to bring the ball back. If she brought it back with her hand open, they would call it a lift on that, so she just punched it. And then the free ball came over, and everybody thought someone else was going to take it.
2-3, Mariana with the serve. Up to Tlustik, and ooh! Hard on that one, point to Southern Virginia. That was right down there in the corner. Now 3 points apiece. Tied at 2 sets, tied at 3 points.
Well, if they keep on trading point for point, got to win by 2. We could be here for a while, Art.
Well, we've already been here 4 sets. Why not extend the fifth? And here we go. Great dig out that time. Push to the back corner by Southern Virginia. Coming back up to the net. Hard shot that time. Over on 2 to Lustig.
And that was a great dig. Great up by number 4, McKenna Costa.
Absolutely.
Just able to punch it up, give her team a chance.
And Chalustic with the very smart senior play there, knowing they're waiting for 3. Let's put it over in 2. Barely clearing the net that time. Over in 2 again. Chalustic with an opportunity. Returned back by the Wildcats. Still just a close play at the net. Chalustic with another set. Played long. Well played again. Southern Virginia. Great play that time by who else? Vanessa Pollock.
And this is what you want. Now you got your 2-point lead. You can breathe a little bit, but you can also be a little bit more aggressive with your net play.
5-3 here in the 5th set. Over in 2. Played well by the Knights. Set to the outside and decisive shot once again. Vanessa Pollock. She is hurting that ball.
And there's a 3-point lead. We talked about it earlier. Whoever gets a 3-point lead, the other team called a timeout because you can't waste that time. It seems like the Knights have caught Randolph in a bad rotation, especially for Vanessa Pollock to be able to find the seams to put the ball down for kills.
Absolutely. She was decisive at the beginning. They held her down a little bit in the middle, a couple of sets. But, boy, this last set, she has just been dangerous.
And she's not just an athlete like we talked about before, being a high school track runner and basketball player and volleyball player, but she is a competitor. You can just see that she loves to compete.
Absolutely, and she is competing tonight, keeping Southern Virginia in this. Now leading 6-3, 9 points to close out this very, very close match today.
Well, with Vanessa being so dominant right now, you have to think that Coach Matthews from Randolph has told their players, please make sure you double block the outside. Don't let Vanessa have anything free. That's going to open up now Barry on the middle.
Down to the libero, back over. Oh, Southern Virginia unable that time to hang on to it. Well played initially that time by Lexi Harrington. Six to 4. Southern Virginia with the lead. Great play up front to Chalustic. Short. Oh, and it comes back. Now 6-5, keeping it close.
Knights going to have to make another great pass. That was a good pass in that last serve.
Played up to the net. Chalustic looking to set it. Great push shot. Coming back over now to Southern Virginia. Chalustic with a set. Nobody home. Push from the back row. Dug out well after that short one. Overpass though. And that play at the net. Won by the Wildcats.
And that's where Caitlin Chalustic has to go up. Instead of trying to dump it, go up strong to block.
And timeout this time taken by Southern Virginia.
And that's a good timeout by Coach Lee, not letting Randolph get in front, cut the momentum out as early as she can. You have to let them play a little bit. You don't want them to get ahead of you. Well, this is rather exciting times now. I mean, again, we talked earlier, we want to see them win. I'd love to see them win. But what they're learning right now, how to play in a fifth set, how to play against a good team, how to come back and battle through when you've been punched in the mouth, as you said, is much more valuable as they're getting into their conference season.
Absolutely. And now in this fifth set, tied up. Looked like they had a great opportunity to cruise, but now the Wildcats responding. How will the Knights answer back? Chalustic up at the net. Hard service that time into the ceiling, still played by the Wildcats. Dumped back over into the back line. Chalustic again. Still kept alive. Push shot over the top and not able to follow up. April Bennett.
And you can see some of the wins starting to be taken out of the sails of the Knights. They're starting to get a little frustrated. That's that youth. They have to learn how to battle through this.
Both teams looking a little tired too now. That fifth set, oh. And just scrambling at this point, trying to keep it alive.
And here they are changing sides. Well, let's see if the Knights can break the string tonight of the team winning on the right side.
Well, I think it's already broken because that first half of this set, was won by
That's true. But we've had teams that are on the left-hand side be in the lead before.
Fair.
But never win the set.
So is it the team that started there, or is it the team that finished there, though? I guess that whoever wins this will say that's how the luck rolls.
That's it.
Overpass that time. Too strong by April Bennett, and serves that one up to the front line of the Wildcats. Now 6-9. Service again from the Wildcats. Barely dug out, but sent over. Quickly played by the Wildcats. The Knights recover, but have to free ball it over. Sent back over. Kind of a gift that time, giving the Knights an opportunity to set something up. And another long set to the outside hitter. And struck down. Catherine Lesnak. The Knights now in a tough spot.
Coach Lee calls the final timeout. Can't let it get too far away. Now we're in the area where if the Wildcats do lose the serve, all they have to do is play side-out volleyball, and they walk away with the 5-set win.
Well, and this time you notice Shannon Ramito in the huddle talking for the Knights. Doesn't matter she's got her ankle wrapped. Doesn't matter that she can't help them on the floor. You can tell she's going to be that leader. She's going to get up and make sure that these guys know what they need to do to close out this game.
And sometimes it's great to be all in your face and be very loud and boisterous. You could tell that Shannon was talking to him in a calm voice, letting them know, hey, we've practiced. We're just as good as the other team. We have to play the game that we know how to play.
Absolutely, especially now when you're tired. You don't want to try to be changing anything up too drastic, but stick with what you're familiar with and get it done. 6-10, the Knights losing opportunities here. They've got to start now. Short to the front row. Knights able to hang on to that one. Fielded back again by the Wildcats. Sent over, but out of bounds. The Knights scrambling a bit, but able to put it together enough to rally for that point. 7-10. And here comes Vanessa Pollock. Sent to the back line. The Wildcats up. Push shot to the back row. Fielded well, but still scrambling. Got to get it over on this one. Tlustig does. To the back line. Free ball. Going to be over on three. That time blocked by the Knights. Set up again. Push shot to the outside. Not able to get the save. Noelle Wojciechowski that time.
And Randolph was just able to get back in system a little bit quicker than the Knights were able to gain their composure.
7-11 now. Like you mentioned, pretty much side out now. All that needs to be done by the Wildcats. The Knights need to break it. Great block at the net that time by the Wildcats. Flying back the other way. Didn't work the first time, but second attempt goes better for Barry. To the outside again. Push shot back across for the Wildcats. Tlustig with a set. Flies back. Just a push shot over the Knights with a free ball opportunity. But they're going to have to respond in kind. Eaton to the back line. Quick push shot by McClinton. 7-12 now. 3 points left
again
for Randolph.
Randolph's playing really well. They're a great team, but you just have to wonder what it would have been like if Ramito was able to play the whole game and the Knights were able to stay in their set rotations.
Absolutely. Back over to the Knights with an opportunity. Tlustig with a set. Puts it down. Well played that time by Hannah Phillips. Signs of life still. But as you mentioned, all the Wildcats have to do is play side out. Alternating points. And they'll be fine. They have to keep pushing this. The Knights have to get a streak. April Bennett now back to serve.
And as long as you have points left up on the board, you got life.
Seeing if they can extend it now. McClinton. And she sends it long. And it's too long. Southern Virginia with the point. 9-12. Like you said, showing those signs of life. Coming at him again, Bennett. McClinton again, sent back at her. The Wildcats over in two. Sent to the back line. Pollock. Over by Eaton to the back line. Free ball opportunity. McClinton, no. Back line. And great deflection of the net, but not enough to stop it.
And there McClinton was demanding the attention of Caitlin Eaton. They had one-on-one blocking on the outside. That's something that the Knights need to be able to put into their repertoire.
Looking to close now, 9-13. The Knights looking to stop and make a run. Goes long and helped out by a second service error by Carrie McMichael.
And you don't expect that from a senior.
No, not at all, especially from a senior who's been really impressive from the service line tonight, but a couple of critical errors keeping the Knights in it now. Service by Tlustik. Long to the back line. Looks like they're setting up McClinton. No. Well dug out by the Knights that time. Caitlin Eaton, but blocked. It's over. And unfortunately, it goes out. Randolph now 14-10. And set match point coming up.
Again, this is where I'd have much rather seen Eaton try to take a 1-foot attack from behind, not coming straight in on the ball.
Taken by Phillips. Back to the front line. Owen digs it out. Flying up. Great block at the net. Tlustik sends it over. And I have been really impressed by Melissa Owen tonight. She may not have had a ton of kills, but boy, to have gone through the tough stretch that she did and to come out of it with some big, big plays, very impressive.
She's making the plays at the right time.
Phillips at the net, sends it back and overpass. And guess who makes them pay for it? Vanessa Pollock. Timeout this time taken by Randolph. The Knights have closed it enough that Randolph, wanting to stop the momentum the Knights have put together, 12-14, one more to close it out. The Knights don't want to give it to them.
You know, and again, we've been talking about this, trying to prepare for the conference. I know Coach Lee, she's very competitive. She wants to win. She wants her team to have that feeling of being the victors all the time, but she has to be happy with the way they've responded to all the adversity that they've faced tonight. Shooting themselves in the foot a couple times, hitting the ball out. The very first two sets always being in the net. Shannon Romito going down with a sprained ankle, getting out of organization with subs and stuff. They've just battled and battled and battled.
Well, and it's hard to coach a team that keeps winning too. So sometimes those losses will actually help you more as a coach. Over the net, the Knights looking to extend this. Tipped over and just not quite there. That's the ball game. Southern Virginia down in the third set. The fifth set, 15-12. That's 3 sets won by Randolph. Heck of a game, though, Coach. Heck of a game.
It was a fun match to watch. The momentum was going back and forth all the time. It could have gone either way with one or two little things that would push the Knights over. But you know, Randolph was able to stay in system a little bit longer and do a little bit more with their opportunities that they had. Again, great job by the Knights being able to sustain themselves all the way through to get to the fifth set and then make the fifth set really close.
Yeah, and certainly, like you said, there's a lot to be said for their performance tonight, even in that fifth set, because that fifth set was absolutely getting away from them. It was really looking rough for a while there, but ended up just losing it by 3. They hung around. They made, I was impressed they made the timeout. They made Randolph take a timeout there after it looked like they had totally put it away, but coming back, applying pressure and hanging around.
Again, the Knights should be upset a little bit that they gave parts of the game away. You know, it wasn't the whole set, but they gave parts of the set away, but they should be feeling exuberant because, again, people playing out of position. They shot themselves in the foot several different times with bad serves or bad plays or not being in the right position, and then being able to extend it to the fifth set and cause the second timeout that Randolph had to take to make sure that they didn't let the momentum get completely over to the Knights.
Absolutely. At the same time, it's got to be tough to look at that as a victory, but that's absolutely how we should see it from the analysis side of it. Speaking of analysis, we've got Caitlin Eaton joining us here for a little bit of a post-game. Caitlin, your thoughts on a very, very hard-fought contest?
We played really hard, but we let them get the runs. We didn't stop them.
So we noticed that there were several times that that your team seemed to have the momentum and then just gave it right back with some service errors or not being in the right defensive positions. And then with Shannon going down, having to have new players come in and play positions that they really weren't sure of. How much did that take y'all out of the game in the first set?
It was definitely different. We had a whole new rotation. We had a player come in off the bench that hadn't played before, but she did awesome. It was a little bit of adjustment, but we've been doing different rotations all season, so it really didn't affect us. It was more of a mental game.
One last question, then we'll let you go. You've been here a while, seen a lot of different teams. There's a lot of freshmen coming in this year. Looks like there's a lot of talent, a lot of energy there. How are the freshmen that are coming in meshing with the crew that's been here in the past? How do you think that's going to work going forward?
It's great so far. The freshmen are stepping up, and the upperclassmen are welcoming them in, and it's working really well so far.
Outstanding. Well, thanks for meeting with us, Caitlin. We'll let you get going. Once again, closing it out tonight, very, very close contest. Southern Virginia Knights going down to Randolph Wildcats in 5 sets, losing in the last one by just 3. Thanks for being with us tonight. We'll hope to catch you on our next volleyball broadcast, or check out SVU Watch It for any of our upcoming sporting contests, including our first football game at the neutral site, Salem, on Saturday at 7 o'clock. For Southern Virginia Athletics, I'm Art Furler here with Mike Harmon. We'll catch you next time.